ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಚಂದನ. ಭಾರತ್ ಮಂದಿರಂ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ನ ಮೊದಲನೆಯ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಇಂದಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಶೇಷ ಅತಿಥಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ನಿವೃತ್ತ ಮೇಜರ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಶ್ರೀ VPS ಭಾಕುನಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರು. ಭಾಕುನಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರೋಣ.
This is the incredible journey of a man who ran away from home at the age of 16 with the dreams of becoming a don. But destiny had a very different plan. Through determination, discipline and service to the nation, he went on to become the one and only Indian to rise from the rank of a Jawan to the general.
Sir, thank you on behalf of the entire Bharat Mandiram Podcast team, and as a proud citizen of India, I thank you, and to all the soldiers. I don't think we remember the sacrifices made by our armed forces. So thank you, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. In fact, let me tell you, it is my pleasure. And heartiest congrats to Bharat Mandiram. What a beautiful name.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm really congratulate you. And I'm proud to be the first person who is giving this podcast. So Bharat Mandiram ko meri lakh badhaiyan. And I'm sure that you are going to reach to new heights in the days to come.
ಭಾಕುನಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರದೇ ಇರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಈ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ನ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಮೀ ಹೌ ಯೋರ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ಹುಡ್ ವಾಸ್, ವೇರ್ ಯು ವರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್?
Frankly speaking, I'm from a very remote area of Uttarakhand, a district called Almora, and in a beautiful place which is known as the Switzerland of India. There is a place called Kausani, just about 9 kilometers away is my village. So I'm generally from a remote area and from a lower middle class. And Uttarakhand has a tradition of joining the armed forces. So it was a craze or a passion in my heart right from the early childhood, looking at the Faujis who used to come on leave and distribute something to the children like me. We used to line up in their homes. So hamare gaon mein, they say chana and gud, they used to distribute to us. So we used to go to the Fauji's houses, and that inspired me to become a Fauji someday. So that is the tradition of Uttarakhand also. So beginning was in the village schools studied, then remained in Almora. And the first time I came to a proper city and where I saw a train. First time in my life was after 10th class when I first came to Kathgodam, the last railway station or the first railway station of Kumaon Hills when we come from Almora. So that is the background I belong to. In village there were many. Frankly speaking, from my own family there was none in the army. I am the first one. Okay. And my younger brother was the second one. So he was in a government service those days, and otherwise the whole family was farmers' family. But my father was in the government. We used to have a joint family where we have got about 8 brothers and 12 sisters. So, and initially it was a joint family. Later we got separated. So initial upbringing was in the village, but I had the opportunity to see a lot of Faujis. So there was a military type of background. In Uttarakhand, this is natural that once a man becomes young, he thinks of getting enrolled, getting recruited in the army. The concept of officers was unknown those days. So, but becoming a soldier, becoming a havaldar or a subedar was quite common. People used to come. The first time I remember when somebody came as a subedar on retirement. Later, one person came as a subedar and honorary captain. So they were highly respected in the village. So that is the kind of respect we have seen for soldiers in the Uttarakhand. Yes. So that inspired me also to join the armed forces.
So you moved from village and then you went to the city for schooling. So how was your schooling, and what can you recollect from your school days?
The initial days were in a village, no problem at all, but I enjoyed those days. In fact, the beautiful memories are of the village. Yes. Till class 5th, we studied in primary Pathshala. I had studied in 3 primary Pathshalas. Primary Pathshala, Khirakod, my own village, was the first one where I studied class 1 and 2. Primary Pathshala, Pitharagad, there is a school called Bajeti. I still remember that. I did my third and fourth. Fifth, I came back to my village, primary Pathshala Brikshmeshwar. So all these things I had studied, so I knew more of my Kumaoni language. Then sixth class, I came to Almora proper. So Almora was a city, though it was in the hills only. And they are now taking admission in government inter college, GIC, they used to call it. So in the GIC taking admission there, now initially there was a big struggle. Though I passed the written examination those days, government inter college admission was a bit of difficult thing to get. So I got, my name came in the third result, third seat when they declared. So I was in the, took admission in the class 6. And the first struggle was learning Hindi proper, speaking Hindi, because I used to speak my local Kumaoni language. So, and that struggle ended for another 5 to 6 months. And one developed confidence to speak in Hindi. And the biggest struggle was learning English, because we had never learned ABCD also.
Yes.
Now you started learning ABCD. So that was, I used to be scared of English. The moment English period used to come, oh my God, the teacher used to come and I used to wanted to skip that class. Because others had learned English from third class. I was learning at sixth class. So I couldn't. Once he told me, okay, read the next para. See, somebody read the first para, I was the second chap. Oh my God, I prayed and prayed. But I couldn't read. See, Ram was a boy, so I said RAMISBOY. He said, this is not the way you read. So, because I was learning ABCD, how the hell do I read this? So this was the biggest, most scary thing for me, I remember. And I have said this story in class 7th. Slightly I had learned English, I was hardworking, no doubt. And there's a question came, how old are you? I wrote an answer very confidently, I'm not old. So once I came home, my brother asked me, what answer have you written? I'm not old, this is correct. See, they are asking you, how old are you? I'm a young boy. In my own language, he slapped me. What is wrong with you? I'm right. He said, how old are you means what is your age? Where is age written in this? So that was the condition. Yeah. So a big struggle, but gradually learn English also. But I could never gain that kind of confidence in English throughout my life till the time I joined the army. Even getting selected as an officer, biggest struggle was English. Yes. So that has been the biggest hurdle in my life. But things become gradually better and better. And you are able to overcome those if you persistently and determinedly follow your goal in life.
Yeah. So, sir, we spoke about language and language barriers. Everybody struggles with this. So, we also speak in our regional language at home. So, I speak Kannada. But for schooling and exam purposes, we will have to learn English. So, how good is it? Because we see other countries. So, Germany has their own German language and they don't tend to learn English, even Chinese people. So, why in India there is more dominance for English, and why is it mandatory to write exams in English, and how is it in the military examinations? Do we have to learn English to write that, or can we do it in our regional language?
Excellent question. In fact, these are the questions which sometimes my candidates also ask me, sir, why this English, sir? Yes. Look at this. This was the same question I used to ask those days. Can you believe there were so many, those days, a kind of protest, even in Almora. I had taken part, when I was in 12th class, I had taken part in one of the big protests where I used to go with a placard in my hand. English bhagao, desh bachao. Look at this. And that time in Uttarakhand, this kind of, protest was going on. And that time I remember Chennai, those days it used to be called Madras. They were saying the same thing, Hindi hatao, and give preference to local language. I also was totally anti-English. See, my thinking have undergone a change. See, India is a unique and huge, big country. So many languages. Hindi is one of the languages. Can you believe it? Maybe our Rashtra Bhasha. But yet, see, they're Tamil equally important,
Yes.
Malayalam equally important, and Kannada.
Yes.
So, which language then what do we do? So, it's better that a common language, which nobody will protest much, is learning English. Plus, let's accept it, it is an international language. How does the army function? See, Madras regiment will say we will function in Tamil. Regiments from Gurkhas, they will go for Gurkhali. Kumaunis will talk about the Kumauni. And similarly, Malayalam, etc. Then how do you unite them?
Yeah.
There has to be something. Let me say that we were ruled by the British, but the English became a common language. But English is a respected language. It is an international language. All the science and technology, everything is in English. So I realize it's a wise thing to learn English. I also hated it. But I used to hate English. Can you believe it?
Yes.
I can't tell you that story. I will tell you how much I used to hate. But ultimately, I realized, Bhakuni, you cannot achieve your goal if you keep hating English. And I said, one day, and when was that day? I will tell you later if you ask me. And I said, I love English. I never loved anybody else. I loved English. See this? That's how I could achieve my goal. And that changed my thinking. Once I started loving English, I started working for it. That's the reason I qualified as an officer. I wouldn't have become an officer had I hated
Yes.
English. So that's the important for English. It is my advice to all of the candidates, learn this language. Be proud of your own language. We are not saying that. Your language is great, whether it is Tamil, whether it is Malayalam, whether it is Kannada. But along with that, you or your children can learn English. Well, it will be good. That's why the government has also said a 3-language formula, where you learn your language, you learn Hindi and you learn English. That's how we will progress. That's how we will get united. And that's the international language. This fact has to be accepted.
So I heard an interesting story that you ran away from your home at 17 years old. How true is it, sir? Did you really run away from your home, and what was the reason? Can you tell us the story behind it?
Yes, I ran away, but not at 17. I ran away at 16. In fact, it's a little before 16. So what happened, I was reasonably doing well. I passed my 10th class in first division. But 11, since I was away from parents, I was staying alone, along with my elder brother. So there was no supervision. We used to go to the school. I fell into bad company. Learned smoking. I thought by smoking you become, senior and mature man. And once in a while I started drinking. I used to love that, particularly in a hostel. The worst thing which happened to me is learning cards and doing gambling. I became a gambler. I, spent so much of money, time in gambling. ताश के 3 पत्ती बोलते हैं और गांव में गुच्ची बोलते हैं, पैसों की होती है वो. तो I got addicted to it very badly. And that spoiled my life. In 11th, can you believe, in the half yearly, I failed so badly. I had 2 marks in physics, 10 marks in mathematics out of 50. So I thought, now there is no future for me. I used to watch every Hindi movie in the theater. Some movies twice I used to see. Some movies even 3 times. I used to like only villains in that. Those who become Don, who become underworld, who become gangsters, Whether it is Sholay, Gabbar Singh, whether it is some other, Ajit, they were my favorites. Pran, Prem Chopra. So all those things, I used to find them glamorous. I think, Bhakuni, that is the future for you. And to become that Don, in that age, I had this kind of feeling in me. Army now, with this kind of marks, how can I join? I said to myself, I remember my famous dialogue used to be, either Desh Rakshak or Seth Bhakshak. या तो मैं देश के लिए लड़ूंगा और मरूंगा, या फिर इन अमीर लोगों को लूटूंगा और गरीबों में बांटूंगा. You used to have high ideals which are impractical. But that age, you don't understand this. So I thought I'll earn a lot of money by looting the rich people. And I ran away from home. I remember it was 1st of May 1975 when I ran away. So I can never forget that date. How I ran away with 50 rupees in my pocket and friend of mine 2 rupees in his pocket. 52 rupees. We ran away. I don't want to tell you the whole story. And we ran away towards Nepal. But we faced such a tough situation. Virtually bhukhe. I mean, we were hungry. We were about to, in a condition that where we had no choice but to beg. But we never begged. Still, from the fields, we used to, steal fruits, whatever we could eat that. So that is the kind of life we had. And ultimately during that, I realized, Bhakuni, it's easy to become an officer. Becoming a gangster is far more difficult. And I realized that I should go back and get into the studies again. I should not let down my parents. So gradually I started turning towards my home back. And that return journey to my place was very, very difficult. It was a long journey on foot, approximately nearly 100 kilometers. Little bit walk, little bit some truck, some lift, and getting into this or something. Somehow, ultimately, in a very, very bad condition, I reached to my sister's home in Bageshwar. I can never forget. As my sister saw me, she couldn't recognize me. मैंने कहा मैं विनोद हूँ, because I came in a truck in which cement was going on. So all I was cemented virtually. So anyway, so then she gave me a bath, करके, and from there ultimately I reached back to my village and then came to Almora with a new determination that I will change the things. I really worked hard for another 6 months. And in the finals, I got wonderful marks and somehow graduated to 12th class. But since the bad company, the gambling still was with me. And another jhatka was required to me. And in 12th class, what happened? The worst thing was I failed 12th. I had never failed in my life. I was a 10th first divisioner. In 12th, I failed. Now, what do we do? And when I remember that journey from Delhi to Almora, that time I was in Delhi. I had gone to Delhi. Can you believe it? In appearing in NDA examination where I couldn't even understand the NDA paper. It was in English. And that night, once the result, I remember 30th June 1976, when took that journey to Almora by bus. It is a 12 to 13 hours journey those days. So, and whole night I kept thinking, because we were under no supervision. Nobody was to guide. So you did whatever you wanted to. I was staying in a hostel those days. So we had a very bad company. Again, drinking, gambling did not leave me. But working hard, understanding your goal was with me, but partial improvement. And this journey, the whole night's journey, and with a new determination, since I was a failure now, first time I have failed in my life in the annual examination. And I reached Almora, I remember 1st of July. And I thought, how will I go to the market and show my face to my friends? And this was 1st July to 8th of July, I can never forget. And 8th of July, when the college opened, my college opened, I remember when I was going to GIC Almora, my friends were also there with me. I was speaking little less. And see, they said, bye-bye Bhakuni. And I climbed down the same stairs to the same college. And they went ahead to degree college, which was my dream. I will study someday in the degree college. I couldn't go. It was most humiliating for me. Those climbing down, I can never forget that journey. Those climbing down another 50, 60 stairs were there. In the hills, it is like that. And when I came to my class, my seat, which used to be right in the front, was occupied by the new students. And there was only place in the last bench. I went to the last. I saw all failures there, those who have failed. Then I realized, Bhakuni, this is the thing. I used to think, why the failures always sit in the last bench? This is the reason, because nobody allows them to sit in the front row. So I sat in the last row and kept thinking, but these failures are also must. And this struggle now, I became a better man. And gradually, though I indulge in these a bit of drinking and watching movies, much less, in a very controlled manner, focus more in sports. So this year of 1976-77 was most successful year of my life. In 10th and 12th, I couldn't get first division, but I just missed it. I got 280 marks out of 500, means 56%. Plus, on top of that, I was college football captain. Plus, I was NCC senior under officer. Plus, I participated. My whole energy was in this. 400, 800, 1500 meter run. I was an athlete. So, there were a lot of achievements. So, once in a while, a bit of drinking, etc., was there on the card. But generally, it was a controlled thing. And once I thought I will do my graduation, once the result came, I missed my first division. I was so confident. Then I thought it is better to join the armed forces. Can you believe it? The very next day, once the results, mark sheets were received, I went to the recruiting office. I came to know there is apprentice training school somewhere in Bhopal. There is a test for that. There is a written exam for that. I appeared in the written exam. I passed. And for interview, I had to go to Bhopal. It was just to become a Jawan in the army. In Bhopal, I reached on 11th of September. First time I left my home for that long journey. And reached Bhopal and got selected there. And on 28th of September is my enrollment date in Indian Army, 1977. I joined as a Jawan in a technical corps which used to be through Apprentice Training School, ATS Bhopal it is called. In fact, we recently celebrated it's a global meet about a couple of months before. So that's how I joined the armed forces.
And how was your selection into the army? So, if you want to say in general terms, how can a person prepare to enter the army? How can he start preparing? At what age to enter the army? And how is the selection process?
Yes, I will say simply, the earlier you start, the better it is. Only thing I give credit for my success, only thing is I think the goal of the army was right from the beginning in my mind, in my heart, that I am going to be like that. And can you believe it? Initially, I did not know what is officer, what is Jawan. But later, I came to know there is an officer because through the village elders, once somebody remarked that in Uttarakhand there are so many officers, but there is no officer in our entire valley.
Yeah.
Once this kind of remark I was listening, I had a desire, I will become that officer. Yeah. And that, this kind of having a goal in my life that I will be something different. There are no officer in my village. There are 35 retired serving soldiers. And in the entire valley, there may be hundreds, but none an officer. What a great motivation it was. Yeah. I thought this is the best kind of goal. I will be the one. Yeah. And this always, in fact, my mother, whenever I used to do pranam to her, she used to bless me. In the village, they bless you like this. Havaldar hai jai, subedar hai jai, malla, havaldar ho jana, subedar ho jana. That kind of blessings in the villages they used to give. So I told her, no, say colonel hai jai, general hai jai, means become a colonel, become a general. She couldn't pronounce that because she was class 2 pass. She could barely write her name. And it happened. See, once she started blessing me, because I knew blessings have a lot of power. And this is what, once this goal has been set in life, I really worked for it. And I enjoyed, not that you become blind. You really enjoyed the journey thereafter. The goal was set. You love the journey of struggle also.
So you joined the army as a Jawan, and you are the first person to transition from a Jawan to general. You became a general. So how is the transition, and what led you to become a general?
So, see, this army life is again of struggle. It is struggles never end in life. See, you become at the young age of 21 years, 5 months, I was an officer. And though it was a huge achievement, whenever I used to go to village, people used to give my example. So I used to feel very proud. And people used to come and meet me, and the ex-servicemen particularly, and they were proud of me. So I used to feel very nice about it. Whenever I used to go to the village, that's why I loved going to the village, because the kind of respect I used to get was too much. And see, this also pushes you ahead.
Yeah.
So initially, then I became a captain. The struggle also there continues. You have to work sincerely, honestly, then only you can get promotions.
Yeah.
Pass so many examinations, you have to do your staff college, you have to do so many courses. In 8 years, I did 8 courses in the army, I remember, and reasonably did well in that. If not the best, at least okay. And I passed the first competitive examination, that is called Defense Services Staff College. Very few passed that, so I passed that. Later, there is as a colonel, I was selected for management course, which again selected lot we do from army in Secunderabad. Okay, that is called a kind of higher defense management course. So I did that also. Then after that, once you do that, then got promoted to brigadier. And it is an unending struggle, serving in different areas.
Yeah.
And you got to constantly do well in life. Then only you can be promoted.
Yeah.
So I was very happy that the aim which I had set to become a major general, I became that.
Yeah.
So God grants you whatever goal you set for you, provided you are sincere, honest, and disciplined to achieve that goal.
Yes.
So that's how my journey reached from a Jawan to a general.
So, sir, we heard about your childhood, how you entered the army, how you became a Jawan and then a general. Looking back at your distinguished career, can you recollect some of the best memories of your army days?
Okay, the first major struggle, but which I love now, if I look back in my life, was that struggle as an apprentice. During those training days only, I did my BA and also got qualified in the UPSC examination, also cleared the SSB, that is Services Selection Board. So that was the greatest achievement of life, which generally doesn't happen during the training of 3 years. So from apprentice training, school training, without even completing it 3 years, I had done my BA there as a private student, qualified in the UPSC examination in the final year, cracked the SSB, and went to the Indian Military Academy, which was my dream. So that experience when I reached to Indian Military Academy was really very touching for me. After that, see, then 6 postings in the counter-insurgency operations in Jammu and Kashmir, 1 posting in Sri Lanka during Operation Pawan were most memorable, particularly the command of a company. I commanded a company in Rosary sector in the Keri battalion. And in the LC, where every day there used to be a firing. Morning, it will start with firing, day will end with firing. You are happy, you fire across, you are sad, you fire across. It was life is like that in the LC. It was like that. And then I commanded my battalion there in the Darhal sector, which was full of militants. So the command of an infantry battalion, unique experience again, was in the counter-insurgency operations. Then luckily, I became a brigade commander. I commanded a brigade that is called RR sector in the deadliest area of Kishtwar. If you ask any Fauji, he will tell you, those days Kishtwar used to be full of militant activities. So virtually I had decided that I am going to clear this area, and to a great extent, we were successful. So I had the best of the battalions under me. I still remember 11 RR, 17 RR, and 34 RR. RR means Rashtriya Rifles. So we fought these militants and cleaned that area to a great extent from militancy. And my greatest reward came when I was approved for a major general. And in command and staff, which is slightly better. Supposed to be you get a command or you can be in staff also. So I got, again, the God has been very kind. Can you believe that dream of mine was to command the 6th Mountain Dip, which is a kind of army headquarters reserve, which is located in Bareilly. I became the general officer commanding of that division. And can you believe that division had the jurisdiction in entire Uttarakhand, mainly Kumaon Hills and Uttarakhand. So my area fell under me.
Yeah.
And so it was a memorable journey when I became a general. And the first time, because I had a fleet of helicopters under command virtually. So the first time I went to my village in a helicopter. See, the same student who used to go to the school, nange pair, without even shoes. So I went to my village. Firstly, I'm a firm believer of God.
Mhm.
So I went to the Kali Mandir, Kalika Mandir, and took a small round of that mandir in a helicopter only, and went to my village. And there the village sarpanch was already told I am coming. And I dropped toffees from the helicopter for my school where I used to study. I distribute in both the schools where I had studied. And he was very nice. And all the children, like we used to run when we used to see a helicopter. Say the helicopter came down and we dropped these toffees and the children were howling. I was remembering my early childhood. And from there, I landed in Kosani. See, so this is what happens. I came, even I hovered. Hovered means helicopter stood still in the house, right in front of my house. I saw my house. It was locked and saw that. What an experience it is. And then entire hills, right up to Badrinath, Kedarnath, last village called Mana. Everywhere I went by chopper. See, this entire area was with me.
Yeah.
Pitharagad, where I studied in the primary Pathshala Bajethi, see, I went to Pitharagad again, in a chopper and landed there, stayed 2-3 days. Again from there, looked around for my school when I was in chopper. I saw that board of still primary Pathshala Bajethi. Oh my God, I had studied there in class 4th and 3rd. So these were the best of the experiences. And see, my dream ultimately was to guide the new generation youth to become an officer. And I prayed and applied for a posting. I did the course again as a brigadier, planning my future of that I will become an officer in the services selection board, and did the course. Came here in Bangalore, did the practical leg of the course, and can you believe? I was a Satya Sai devotee. I had prayed him also that I should be posted because there was Allahabad board, there was Bangalore board, and there was Bhopal board. I only wanted Bangalore board. And my posting came as a president and commandant in Bangalore, which was responsible for South India. So I was posted here in Bangalore. So this was another great experience. For 2.5 years, I was a kind of commandant or a chairman of the services selection board, where I gained this experience because my retirement was fixed in the sense I wanted to guide the youth. So I opened an academy here, which is now India's best academy. SSB Sure Shot Academy. Services Selection Board Sure Shot Academy. Or I call it in my heart, why I gave it SSB? Satya Sai Baba Sure Shot Academy, whatever way you call it. So this is the name I had given to that academy. Today, that academy is India's best academy, located here in Bangalore, which has trained thousands of the youth. So that is the kind of service we are doing. These 2 students which you see who have come with me are again the students of that academy, and they will become officers in the days to come. So that is the kind of life. So these experiences were most memorable. See, the journey from Jawan to Journal ultimately culminated there. But I still get a feel that I'm in the army because I'm training the people for the armed forces.
Yeah.
Can you believe now, which you may not be aware, in my academy, serving soldiers come. See, you feel nice. So many Jawans come because they also have to become an officer. They come on leave and they do the courses with me, under me, because they know, okay, I had a lot of experience with the army. They want to get trained by me. So a lot of Jawans, serving Jawans come. So I never get a feel that I have retired. I still think that I'm still serving the army because I'm doing generally the same kind of job. So these are the beautiful memories and wonderful, things to live, to be proud of, you know. So these are the memories I still relish whenever I think of.
Wonderful. So you spoke about SSB exam. How do one aspirant prepare for that exam? How many divisions the exam have? How to pass all those rounds and how to finally become an officer?
Okay, so the SSB student, see, it depends on him whether he wants to join the army, navy, or air force. Because I train all the three.
Okay.
So you can become army officer, you can become naval officer, you can even become coast guard officer or air force officer. Selection process for all of them is the same. They have to crack the written examination. After that, the most biggest hurdle is an interview.
Mm.
Can you believe the Indian Army interview is 5-day process? It is not the civil services where in 40 minutes or half an hour your interview is done. It is only the Army interview which takes place 5 days.
Oh.
Because it's a personality-based test. You got to have a personality of a leader.
Mm.
You got to lead from the front. You have to have those qualities which we call officer-like qualities.
Yes.
You got to have good initiative, good confidence, a lot of boldness and courage, and your reasoning ability, your intelligence has to be of very high class, plus your body language, your communication skills, your ability to influence the group, your liveliness factor, and you should be able to keep your team motivated and lead them from the front. So you need this kind of character. That's why if you become an army officer, it means you definitely possess a good personality.
Yeah.
So this is what we have to train them. So, and that's why we tend to give them a goal and thereafter understand what is the process for that. They crack the written examination. In some of the tests, there is no written examination, but main thing, they have to develop their personality, inculcate those officer-like qualities, develop that leadership in themselves, and it's a gradual process. They have to think themselves as a leader.
Yeah.
See this, then only till the time your mental image about yourself is not absolutely clear, you cannot achieve that. You have to think, behave, and act like an officer. That's how gradually they become an officer. And ultimately, if they are very positive, strong, they can face the ups and downs. They do not get disheartened by small failures in life, which is a normal thing.
Yeah.
They will certainly achieve their goal in life. That's why most of them, they achieve their goal. So that is how we train them. Mental training is equally important as the physical training, because for officers, it is mental toughness is more important than the physical toughness.
Yeah. Yes, mental toughness is definitely important, but is there any condition where you need to be a certain height or physically fit? Does it qualify for the exam?
Yes. So these are very minor measurements which most of the youth will be good enough, fit enough. Because for officers, we are not looking for a very tall, dark, handsome guy. It is an average height and average kind of weight and a little bit of physical fitness. We are not looking for something abnormal.
Mm.
See, I may be unfit physically for a Jawan, but I will be fit for an officer. So what matters is your personality, what matters is your mental fitness rather than your physical measurement. Because all those guys who will come, they know their height is okay. See this. For girls, if you are more than around 150, and for boys, if you are more than 160, you are generally suitable for the armed forces. There is no problem at all. Okay, you shouldn't be overweight. Your fitness should be good. But what matters that you should be able to clear your SSB. So we focus not on these measurements, not only on physical fitness, but more on your qualities. Whole focus is on these 15 officer-like qualities. 15 qualities are there. And physical fitness is just one of them.
Okay.
Only one of them. See, 14 qualities are different. Physical fitness, we call it stamina. That is all. You've got to have a good stamina. 14 qualities are entirely, they are personality oriented.
See you soon with a new story, new conversation, and a new episode. Stay tuned and subscribe Bharat Mandiram.